In our last program, we were talking about fats and fertility. The outside part of a cell, of all the cells in the body's made up of cells and stuff. The stuff comes out of the cells like a Play-Doh extruder machine. Remember those little machines where you put Play-Doh in the top and you kind of press down on the handle and different shapes would come out? That's basically what a cell does, except it does it with proteins. And the body's made up of Play-Doh extruder machine cells and the proteins that come out of them. Fats compose the outside part of a cell, the membrane of a cell. All cells, including egg cells and sperm cells. In fact, egg cells and sperm cells in particular have fatty membranes. The fatty component of egg cells and sperm cells is even more important, or the fatty makeup, fatty nature of egg cells and sperm cells is even more important than in regular cells. That's because for them to interact, they interact at the level of the fatty membrane. That's called fertilization. And as the fetus is developing, its form and shape depend on healthy interactions between cell membranes. And again, that's a function of fats, especially omega-3 and omega-6 fats. So think of your essential fats, your essential fatty acids, and we'll talk in a little bit, we'll talk about what those are exactly. But think of your ultimate EFAs, your ultimate EFA plus, your essential fatty acids as membrane nutrients, cell membrane nutrients, which means they're critical for helping cells communicate with each other, for helping cells talk to each other, because that occurs at the membrane level. Speaking of eggs, an egg is a cell. When we eat our scrambled eggs, we're eating scrambled egg cells. When we eat hard-boiled eggs, we should be thinking of eating hard-boiled egg cells. So the next time you're at Denny's ordering your poached eggs, ask the waitress for a couple of poached egg cells, and you'll be more accurate. And this is really important. I'm not just making a joke here. When we understand that eggs are egg cells, and when we really get that when we eat eggs, we're eating cells, it'll become clear and obvious why eggs are such a powerful food. Eating eggs is eating cells. And because cells have everything needed for a cell, that's why they're a cell. When we eat a cell, when we eat an egg, we're eating everything we need to make our own cells. There's no other food like that. Maybe yeast, actually. Yeast or yeast cells. When you eat cells that are intact, whole cells, you're eating everything required to make a sperm cell, everything required to make an egg cell, everything required to make a brain cell, everything required to make a bone cell or an intestinal cell or a skin cell or any other cell. So eating eggs is eating cells, and eating cells is eating all the raw materials to make our cells, and that's why eggs are so darn amazing. Of course, to the degree you cook your egg, you're going to destroy those healthful compounds. So best eggs are going to be raw eggs. You got to make sure they're fresh and they don't have any cracks in them. That's the best way. It's hard to come up. There's some powerful foods out there, okay? Whey protein, powerful food. Algae, powerful food. Yeast, powerful food. Oysters, powerful food. Very underappreciated, by the way, oysters. There's lots of powerful foods out there. Dairy can be a powerful food, but nothing beats an egg. Nothing beats an egg in terms of raw material for building the body, for building cells. Sorry, vegans, that's just how it is. By the way, if you follow the NFL, there's a famous vegan football player named Arian Foster. And Arian Foster is used by, and I'm not beating up on vegans here, by the way, or vegetarians, but I'm just saying that if you're a vegan, you're going to have a harder time to build and to stay strong. Arian Foster is a famous vegan, great running back if you follow football. And anyway, a couple years ago, it came out that he was a vegan. He was all proud. Vegans were using him as a poster child for how wonderful it could be to be a vegan. You could still be a big, strong, buff football player. Well, it turns out every year Arian Foster gets injured. Again, just Sunday, injured again, out for the year. Why? He's a vegan, probably. He's not getting the protein that he needs. He's not getting the eggs that he needs. He's not getting the fish that he needs. Now, I'm not here beating up on vegans or vegetarians. I'm just saying if you are a vegan, you're going to find it a lot harder to get the nutrients that you need for building, because human beings are omnivores, not vegavores, not plantivores. We're omnivores. We eat everything. Anyway, eggs are cells. That's why they're good for us. When you eat a hard-boiled egg, you're eating a hard-boiled egg cell. When you eat a scrambled egg, you're eating a scrambled egg cell. Eggs are cells. And then we were talking about the membrane. If you hard-boil an egg, when you take off the shell, you're going to see a little coating on the cell, underneath the shell. That's the membrane. And that membrane is important for keeping the cell inside flexible. Essential fatty acids in the cell membrane are key to keeping the membrane flexible. The components, the essential fatty acids. Essential fatty acids play a key role in keeping the cell membrane moving, flexible. And it's also important in cell-to-cell interactions. That's why it's important for building tissue. That's why EFAs are just as important for bone health as calcium. That's why EFAs are important for muscle health. Any of the tissue in the body that's building requires essential fatty acids. Bodybuilders know this. When I was lifting weights back in the 1980s, seriously, EFAs were a major part of most weightlifters, most bodybuilders' programs, regimens. I've often said on this program that if you want to really know about building health, about the health properties of building, or the health dynamics, if you will, the health dynamics of building the body, read bodybuilding magazines, read weightlifting magazines. Weightlifters and bodybuilders are serious about building tissue, and we should all be bodybuilders, because we're all building bodies. And EFAs are a go-to resource for bodybuilders, weightlifters, athletes, and they should be for us as well. EFAs are important for the genetics, as we said yesterday. They turn the genetics on. They are the quintessential epigenetic factor. That means if you're deficient in EFAs, or you're not absorbing them because of intestinal disease, liver disease, or, get this, statin drug usage. We'll talk about that when we come back from our break. Statin drugs can suppress essential fatty acid absorption from the gut. I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side. We'll take a break, and we'll be back right after this.
Silver has always been nature's very own antibiotic, and only one system allows you to produce an endless supply of nano-sized silver solutions right from the convenience of your home. Silver Lungs. With the addition of our unique lung delivery system, respiratory infections are targeted directly, where traditional oral administration simply cannot reach. This pioneering method also preserves the original particle sizes and delivers your silver solution directly into the bloodstream. See the Silver Lungs generator and lung delivery system at silverlungs.com. That's silverlungs.com.
Thousands of people seeking home security get ripped off every day, and the home security industry wants you to believe that's your only option. They've got hordes of salesmen out there trying to scare you into signing one of their long-term contracts. You get stuck writing huge checks month after month with no way out. It's robbery by contract, and it can cost you thousands. But there's a better way to protect your home. Simply Safe Home Security. Simply Safe has no contracts. None. You'll get award-winning 24/7 protection. Security professionals watching over your home, ready to instantly send police to the rescue for just $14.99 per month. That's less than half what most companies charge. Protect your home the smart way. Visit simplysafedefense.com today for an exclusive 10% offer and get a free keychain remote worth $25. Only when you go to simplysafedefense.com. simplysafedefense.com.
My dad was 59 when he collapsed from a heart attack late last year. Just this past August was when we spread his ashes on the St. Croix River. I loved my dad, but boy was he stubborn. He hadn't been to the doctor in over 25 years. His excuse? He simply couldn't afford it. He wasn't a rich man by any means. At less than $107 per month, libertyoncall.org would have been the perfect alternative for my father. Don't wait. Go to libertyoncall.org right now, for not just your sake, but for the sake of your loved ones. Again, that's libertyoncall.org.
A lot of people's lives and bodies are out of balance. AlkaVision Plasma pH drops optimize pH level and get rid of harmful waste and acid. Just a few drops in water restores vibrance and energy and gets you back in balance. Now order 2 bottles and get $10 off your order. Sign up for monthly auto shipping and save 25%. Call 800-518-7615 or visit alkavision.com. Alkalize your body. Supercharge your health at alkavision.com.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-855-905-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. Say goodbye to the cable guy and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. Sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99, and there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows, pause and rewind live TV, even skip the commercials. Watch local channels too. At just $19.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV. Say goodbye to the cable guy. Cut costs and get more. 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV.
Are your Google search results killing you? Unflattering content in blogs, news articles, online reviews, social media, or other sources can jeopardize your reputation, your business, and your livelihood. Let Reputation.com help. Our patented technology will make the truth about you more visible while pushing down unwanted negative content. Improve your Google search results. Call Reputation.com at 1-800-831-0771 for a free consultation. That's 800-831-0771.
TruthTreatments.com. Make sure you look at our retinol 5% gel. Not going to find that anywhere else, friends. 5% retinol. Nobody can believe when I go. I've been to New York now twice, talking to Vogue and Cosmo and all the people who make the decisions on what we're going to see and what we're going to read about. And when I was talking to these beauty editors, they couldn't believe that there's a 5% retinol out there. That's because there is none except for the Truth Treatment products. The highest amount of retinol you're going to find in any products over the counter is going to be 1%, although now there's some 2% that are coming out now, but certainly nothing more than 2%, and definitely no 5%. Plus, of course, you're going to get vitamin C in there as well, and you'll also get it with no preservatives, no fragrance, no wax, no emulsifiers, nothing that can cause a problem and nothing that's wasted. You know, when you buy a typical skincare product, you're paying for stuff that your skin doesn't need or want, or in many cases has to detoxify, and you're paying for it. Preservatives and fragrances and waxes and emulsifiers and water. Anyway, you can find out all about the Truth Treatment products at truthtreatments.com, truthtreatments.com. All right, so it turns out that when you're using a statin drug, you get fatter. That's according to Medscape. Individuals prescribed statin therapy for high cholesterol levels have increased their caloric intake by nearly 10% and their intake of fat by 14%. What do you think that's about? Doctors mystify. They can't figure out why that is. Well, if you're listening to this program, you know more than your doctor, because now you know that when you suppress cholesterol production, your body will send you out for more cholesterol and more fat. And what's worse is when you take a statin drug, that impairs the digestion and absorption of fat. So you keep eating the fat, but you don't absorb it. You keep eating your EFAs, but you don't absorb it as well. You keep eating your vitamin A and your vitamin D and your vitamin E and your vitamin K and your fatty nutrients, and you don't absorb them as well. So your body sends you out for more fat and more calories. And that's why you get fat when you're on a statin drug. There's no good time to take a statin drug for a long, or any drug for a long period of time. That's not what drugs do. I'm not going to beat up on statin drugs. We've done that enough. Actually, we'll talk a little bit about statin drugs and about cholesterol here tomorrow. If you're on a statin drug, or you know somebody's on a statin drug, have them listen tomorrow. We'll talk about the silliness of using statin drugs. But we'll talk about, more important, we'll talk about cholesterol. Anyway, as far as EFAs go, progesterone, estrogen, testosterone, repair hormones, all of these depend on essential fatty acids for their effects. Progesterone depends on EFAs, essential fats, for their effects. Why? Same with estrogen, same with testosterone, same with cholesterol and growth and repair hormones, or your cholesterol hormones, because that's probably the more accurate way of saying them. For their effects, for all of these youth and fertility and growth hormones and anti-aging hormones to have their effects, you got to have enough EFAs. Why? Because for these hormones to be effective, they got to penetrate through the membrane. And the membrane's made up of EFAs. If you don't have enough EFAs and your body is replacing them, sticking them into the membrane instead of essential fatty acids, your steroid hormones, your cholesterol hormones aren't going to penetrate that membrane as effectively. And that means everything a cell is supposed to do is going to happen less effectively. It's going to make stuff less effectively. It's going to detoxify itself less effectively. It's going to secrete growth factors and proteins less effectively. So EFAs have another role to play in keeping us healthy. They help our steroid hormones work more effectively. If you're thinking that you might want to be supplementing with your ultimate EFAs, you're right. If you're thinking that maybe it's time to throw in some ultimate EFAs into your daily regimen, or if you're already on your ultimate EFAs, if you're thinking you may want to increase them, you're probably right. EFAs are your youth and fertility essential nutrients via this youth and fertility hormone effect. On the bright side, we're always saying all disease is cell disease, but really all disease is cell membrane disease. So all disease is cell disease, and all cell disease is membrane disease. And by the way, that includes cancer. Cancer is the quintessential cell membrane disease. Take that to the bank. If anybody tells you they don't know what causes cancer, I'm telling you right now, it's a cell membrane disease. The electromagnetics, the electronics, the biochemistry of the cell membrane is defective in cancer cells. If you want to make a cell turn cancerous, mess with the membrane. The membrane's made up of essential fats. Is that another good reason to take your essential fatty acids? You bet it is. All cancer cells have defective cell membranes. And this is why the medical model is so helpless when it comes to the emperor of all maladies, as it's been called. The scourge, the second leading cause of death in this country and around the world. And you don't need a vaccine, and there's no cure for cancer. There's no cure for cancer. Joe Biden was on the news yesterday or 2 days ago. I know we can find a cure for cancer. We'll do it just like we went to the moon. And I like Joe Biden. I'm not picking on him. But this is the kind of ignorance that permeates our culture, and specifically our medical culture. We think we can cure cancer. We think we can kill cancer. Cancer is nothing more than the end result of a cell that is stressed out, and it starts off at the membrane level. Hopefully you guys are getting the idea that focusing on fats is absolutely vital when it comes to health and wellness and anti-aging and longevity. And this may come as a surprise to you if you're like me and you grew up in the 60s and 70s when we were bombarded with anti-fat propaganda. It's a little bit less now, I will say. Over the last few years, we've gotten the idea that, low fat is not necessarily good health. Dr. Wallach's been talking about that for decades. I first discovered the importance of fat as a skincare pharmacist. Dry skin is a fat deficiency, in my experience. I haven't seen any. Well, there's a lot of essential studies on EFAs and dry skin, essential fatty acids, but it doesn't matter. I've seen it with my own eyes. I've seen the power of essential fatty acids for treating dry skin with my own eyes. I've seen the power of essential fatty acids for treating eczema with my own eyes. Same with psoriasis. It's amazing for the skin. So I learned about the importance of fats when I started working as a compounding pharmacist for a skincare compounding pharmacist. But in the mainstream, it's only been the last couple of years that this fat phobia that we've all labored under for decades has started to disperse a little bit. In the 60s and 70s, it was all about low-fat, anti-fat, and not eating fat. Somehow that was the health strategy. That was a major health strategy, not eating fat. In the world of health and nutrition, there are so many different opinions, it's hard to know what to believe. And no health and nutrition subject is filled with more bad information, misinformation, disinformation than the subject of fat, and for that matter, cholesterol, which is a fatty substance, although technically not a fat. So in the interest of clarification, we're going to talk a little bit about cholesterol and how they relate to our essential fatty acids tomorrow as we continue talking about fats, good fats, and skin health. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. 844-236-6010 is our number. 844-236-6010. We'll get your calls right after this break. Don't go away. From the University of Alabama at Birmingham, solving the mysteries of fibromyalgia could help patients break free. Guess what? Fibromyalgia is a fat issue. It's a fatty hormone issue. It's a fat digestion issue. There's a reason why most people who have fibromyalgia are women. Anytime, by the way, women are more prone towards disease states like Alzheimer's disease and autoimmune disease and multiple sclerosis and fibromyalgia than men are. And there's a reason for that. It's called estrogen. Estrogen is processed by the fat system, especially by the bacteria in the gut. If you are a woman and you're dealing with any of these health challenges, focus on your digestive system. Focus on probiotics and fermented foods. Focus on fat absorption. And nothing is as important. There's things that are as important. Nothing is more important than probiotics and good bacteria when it comes to fat absorption, when it comes to estrogen, when it comes to cholesterol hormones, when it comes to producing too much cholesterol. And if you are interested in lowering cholesterol, lowering your sugar is the way to do it, and lowering your insulin. By the way, it's now coming out that insulin is related to our brain's reward system, our pleasure system. The pleasure hormone dopamine is increased when we eat, when our insulin goes up. That's according to the journal Nature Communications. Problem is, the more our insulin goes up, the more our body stops listening to insulin. That's called insulin resistance. And when you're subject to the effects of insulin resistance, your brain will make less pleasure chemicals when you eat insulin-spiking foods like sugar, and that will mean that you'll have to eat more insulin-spiking foods like sugar. We'll talk about all this tomorrow, and we'll talk about the relationship of sugar and insulin to cholesterol tomorrow as well, as we continue talking fats and cholesterol, essential fatty acids, and skin health on the bright side. Okay, time to hit our phones, 844-236-6010, 844-236-6010. Let's go to Wes in Idaho. Good morning, Wesley. What's up, buddy?
Hello.
Hello. What's cooking?
I have a book here that says too much salt instead of natural vegetable sodium can lead to edema, and it says it's not salt that we need. We should only get natural sodium from plants.
Well, obviously plants are always going to be your best source of nutrition. That goes without saying. That's just obvious. But here's the thing. What is salt, Wes? Do you know? And what do these people mean by salt? Salt's a very misunderstood and misused word. Well, what do you mean when you say salt? Table salt?
That's what I was calling. I don't know. There's Celtic salt.
No. What do you think of when you hear the word salt? Tell me specifically as a nutrient. Do you think of sodium? Do you think of sodium chloride? Do you think of table salt? What do you think of when you think of that word?
The chemical word. I'm
it's
not
actually.
Sure. It seems like a nutrient.
Okay. Well, salt is a generic word. It's like chemical. What do you think of when you hear chemical? There's lots of chemicals. So chemical's a generic word. Guess what? There's lots of salts. Salt is a generic word. So most of us, when we say salt, and even doctors and even healthcare professionals and alternative practitioners and certainly the mainstream press, when they say salt, they mean table salt. They mean sodium chloride. And so we're going to just stick with that for now, but I want everybody to recognize that salts basically, or for the most part, are all of our electrolytes. That means sodium, potassium, chloride, calcium, and magnesium for the most part. Those are all salts, and they're all important, incredibly important. And the more water you drink, the more you need them. And this is one of Dr. Wallach's great insights. He called them electrolytes, but they're really salts. And we need them, especially for our heart and for our blood sugar. The two leading causes of, or two of the three leading causes of disease, of death in this country are heart issues and blood sugar issues, diabetes. So we need our salts big time. As far as sodium chloride goes, yes, obviously plant sodium is more valuable than chemical or what's called ionic sodium chloride, but still, sodium is important and chloride is important, and that makes sodium chloride very important. Both of them. Table salt is important. They do put crap in the table salt, unfortunately, excipients and flow agents, etc. And so the best way to get your salt, your table salt, if you will, your sodium chloride, is with Celtic sea salt or Himalayan salt or some kind of gourmet salt. If you use Himalayan salt and you use Celtic sea salt, not only will you get sodium, not only will you get chloride, but you'll get all the minerals from the ocean. Even if it's Himalayan, you'll still get all the minerals from the ocean because the Himalayans came from the ocean. So go with the gourmet salt, and obviously vegetables are powerhouse nutrients. So sodium from vegetables, which is colloidal, by the way, colloidal sodium, the minerals in a vegetable are colloidal minerals. That's the way to go. Plant-derived colloidal minerals are the same thing, except they're concentrated, and that's why the Beyond Tangy Tangerine is so important, or one of the reasons. That's why Dr. Wallach's insight was so brilliant. He said that these plant-derived minerals are concentrated sources of the minerals that are found in plants, colloidal minerals. And they suspend in liquid, and they're powerfully electrical. So yes, to answer your question, salt is important, and you can't go on a salt-free diet or low salt. You just go nuts, and you'll end up eating potato chips. If you're craving salt, one last thing here, if you're craving salt, or even if you're just tired a lot, because of the adrenal relationship between the adrenals and salt, drink Celtic sea salt water. Put a teaspoon in water and sip on it. You won't overdose on it if you sip on it because your body will rebel. It won't let you drink more than it can handle. And guess what? After you do that, you're not going to want your salty potato chips or salty pretzels. You will have met your body's need for salt. That's how you deal with cravings, by the way. You give the body what it wants. When it wants salt, you give it salt. When it wants fat, you give it fat. When it wants sweets, you give it protein. That's the one exception there. So when it wants sweets, you give it protein. When it wants fats, you give it good fats, essential fatty acids, quality fats. When it wants salt, you give it Celtic sea salt and minerals. Go ahead, Wes. I'm sorry.
What about something like celery salt? Is that any better than
no, that they're all equivalent. I don't. That's a good question because I've heard of celery salt. I don't know exactly what it is.
I I'm holding a little jar of it. And
it's a seasoning of some kind. It's like it's a type of spice, right?
Well, yes. Actually,
I don't know what's in it.
It says contents are salt, celery powder, and calcium stearate.
No, don't waste your money on that. There's stuff called Mrs. Dash's salt substitute that's potassium, and that's good stuff. We tend to get enough sodium. Most of us get enough sodium, but potassium, that's the one we got a problem with. And potassium and sodium have an antagonistic relationship throughout history, throughout our evolutionary history. So, sodium was held on to because sodium's really important, probably more important than potassium, so the body has a tendency to hold on to sodium. We didn't have a lot of sodium. Throughout history, we had more potassium than sodium. Sodium was in scarce supply. Sodium was considered it was used for money. The word salary comes from salt, sodium. People were paid with sodium. Throughout history, we didn't have a lot of sodium, but over the course of time, as technology... Well, hang on, we'll finish up when we come back from our break. I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side. We'll be back after this. We're talking to Wes in Idaho. Wes, I don't want to belabor the point. We talked a lot about salt here in the past, but just to suffice it to say that the more stress you're under, the more you need salt, and you better get your salt one way or another, or you're going to be eating a lot of pretzels and potato chips. That's why you want to hit your salt buttons ahead of time, proactively. Anything else you want to say, Wesley?
There's a mention here of a sodium-potassium pump.
Yes.
What?
You don't want to go there. You don't want to go, although it's pretty darn cool, the sodium-potassium pump. This is the sodium-potassium pump, and I'm just going to be real, I got a bunch of calls I want to get to, so just real quickly. The sodium-potassium pump is the way sodium goes into a cell and potassium comes out, changes the electronics of a cell, and that's how the nervous system works. Now, I know that was pretty succinct there, but man, sodium-potassium pump is really fascinating and really complicated and it's a little deeper than where I want to go right now as far as helping people with their health issues, because I got a bunch of calls. Anything else, my man?
The book here says that is something that maintains life.
It's true.
Potassium pump.
It's true. It's true. One day we'll spend time talking about it because it is ridiculously fascinating. The sodium-potassium pump. Thank you so much, Wes. Take care. Have a beautiful day, buddy. Okay, let's go to David in California. What's up, David? How you doing?
Hey, Ben. How you?
I'm doing great. What's cooking? Where in California are you?
I'm in southern, up in Lake Arrowhead, actually.
Where is that near?
It's in the mountains.
In the mountains of Southern California? It's like east of LA?
Yes.
Okay, cool. That's beautiful out there.
I have two questions. First off, though, thank you for all you do for us.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that, David.
I don't know if you even know. All right, I have splitting fingers, and I'm just
the skin is splitting? The surface of the skin?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. That is a classic sign of fat deficiency and essential fatty acid deficiency specifically. Now, I could tell you to dose with your EFAs and dose with a lot of them, as well as vitamin A, 20,000 IU. But I would suspect that you may have some malabsorption issues, too. So see if you notice that when you take your fats, you burp. That's a sign. A lot of times people will feel queasy or burpy or gassy after that's a sign you're not absorbing. If you want, you can just take absorption aids with your with your EFAs. Ultimate enzymes, specifically something called lipase, L-I-P-A-S-E, bile salts, and that's B-I-L-E, bile salts, apple cider vinegar, lecithin, L-E-C-I-T-H-I-N, lecithin granules, probiotics, good bacteria.
Yeah.
Let me think if there's anything else. There's a few other things. Choline is the B vitamin kind of like substance. Something called methionine. You can sometimes get fat absorption aids or fat digestion aids as a supplement and at a health food store, and that's a good idea too. Anything you could do to improve absorption of fats, as well as using vitamin A in your essential fatty acids. Thank you so much, David. Take care.
Hold on, there's one more question I have.
Sure.
Okay, I never or very rarely hear you ever address essential oils and spices and herbs.
You know why? Well, spices, because nobody has a spice deficiency. And spices are very, very important. Spices are medicines. Herbs are medicines. Weeds, by the way, when you go out and pick your weeds, those are medicines. Those are herbs. And in my compounding pharmacy, I used to keep herbs. We used to tincture them. I used to wildcraft. ethically, of course. Here in Colorado, in the mountains of Colorado, I have a great respect for herbal medicine and for herbs. I'm a pharmacist, and we study herbs. However, nobody has an herb deficiency, and nobody has a spice deficiency. But lots of people have B vitamin deficiency and electrolyte deficiency. So I don't talk about them a lot. And essential oils are in the same category. They're medicinal. They're not nutritional. You see the distinction?
I was just wondering.
Yeah, they're more medicinal, and medicine has its place. I'm a medicine guy. I'm a pharmacist. But nutrition is the fundament, and that's really what's missing.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
Well, watch out for them debates tonight.
I'm so excited about those. We should talk. I would like to talk some politics sometime. Do you have somebody? I watch for the entertainment value, but I don't believe I don't believe a word any of them say. Trump was the most interesting because he's not honest. By the way, people say he's honest. He's not honest. Don't make that mistake.
I mean, you get to that level, and there's the honesty is the first thing you have to scrap.
That's exactly right. There's a really cool book called Confessions of a Sociopath, written by a lawyer. Surprise, surprise. And in the book, have you heard of this book, Confessions of a Sociopath? So she talks about how our culture is set up so sociopaths win. So sociopathy is rewarded. So the heads of corporations, political leaders, they have to be sociopathic in order to win, in order to succeed in our culture. Isn't that fascinating? Yeah. All right, got to go, David. Thank you so much, man. Have a great day. Thanks for the kind words, too. Appreciate it. All right, let's see. Carol in Washington, what's up? You are patient.
Yes, hi. I wanted to take up where I left off yesterday on hypothyroidism, dry mouth, Fukushima radiation, and if I should not be taking extra iodine because the thyroid cancer rate in Japanese children is up 2,500%.
So you're relating that to iodine supplementation?
Yeah. Well, I don't. Yeah, because we're supposed to take iodine to take the place of what the radiation goes into your thyroid.
I'm not sure how you're relating the two, but iodine is an essential nutrient. I mean, you don't have an option. You got to get your iodine, and the only place to get iodine is in the ocean, from fish and creatures and vegetation that lives in the ocean. What's that?
Or a bottle?
Ultimately, all iodine comes from the ocean. It's an ocean mineral. So even if it's drug iodine or pharmaceutical iodine like Lugol solution or iodoral, the source of the iodine, it's an element from the ocean. Now, there's some in terrestrial, obviously, but the vast majority comes from the ocean. Best way to get your iodine is from ocean foods and vegetation. We do have a little problem because we've trashed our ocean, and it's all radioactive, of course. Right. But what are you going to do? That's what I was saying to you, Carol. We poisoned our world. So what are you going to do? You got to do what you have to do. You need iodine, and hopefully the selenium and the sulfur in the seaweed will take care of the toxicity. Hopefully. I don't know why humanity is this way. Read Michael Tessarian. You know who that is? You ever hear of Michael Tessarian? He's got some interesting takes.
No, but I know it's population controlled by the elite.
Yes, all of that. There's exactly what I'm saying. So what are you going to do?
Can I ask you about dry mouth? My friend has dry mouth 24/7. I have it at night.
It's a sign your body... Let me finish. Let me explain here. It's a sign that the body is shutting down. There's actually a commercial now where they say, if you're on lots of drugs, you probably have dry mouth. Yes. Dry mouth is a sign the body is shutting down. It's associated with prescription drugs, lots of different prescription drugs. It's associated with none. What's associated with OTC drugs. If you have dry mouth and you're not taking any drugs, then your body's shutting down.
Why?
Why is it shutting down? I don't know. I don't know you. How old are you?
72.
Okay. Well, you've had 7 decades of, living in the United States of America.
For quite a while, so I am careful. Okay. I don't even eat out.
Well, the dry mouth still is a sign that something is slowing up. Saliva secretion is slowing down. How are your eyes? Do you have issues with the eyes? Tears or anything?
No.
No dry eye issues?
No.
Okay, well, if you're not on any medication, because medication is one of the major causes of dry mouth, and by the way, as all marijuana smokers know, that's called cotton mouth, and it's the same idea. Benadryl does the same thing, or over-the-counter drugs do the same thing. What you need to be doing is you need to be figuring out what's going on in your body as a system. There has to be other things. Nobody just has dry mouth. There's something else going on. You got to find what that is. And then you can start to form a picture. Remember, you got to collect the dots before you can connect the dots. And in order to form a picture, we need sample points, data points. We got one, and that's dry mouth. What else, Carol? Give me a couple more data points. A couple more things that are happening in your body.
Rust spots, as you call them.
Okay, we're oxidizing a little bit. Give me one more.
Varicose veins.
Okay, now we're talking. Now I got a picture. Varicose veins implies the circulatory system is the blood and the fluids aren't moving through the circulatory system. There's a general slowing down. So the first thing you got to do is you got to reverse that. You're slowing down. You want to reverse that. The fastest way to reverse that is with deep breathing and getting on a rebounder. That'll reverse.
I've done that.
We keep doing it every day. You're not doing it enough if you still have the symptoms. You might want to consider one of those inversion machines. That can help move things around as well. Secondly, if there's anything clogging the blood, oxygen and getting on a rebounder and an inversion machine can help improve the movement. But if there's anything clogging the blood, remember, all disease is dirty blood. All disease is cell disease, and all cell disease is dirty blood disease. That means the blood is clogging up, it's coagulating. That's a sign something's getting in there. That means a digestive issue. So look for digestive issues. Look for anything that, any foods that are related to digestive issues, and start eliminating those. Here's the, I got about a minute, Carol. Okay, so I'm going to tell you and everybody listening how you deal with health challenges. It's very simple, no matter what they are. Number one, you work on your digestive system, eliminating problem foods and using digestive support nutrients, especially probiotics, good bacteria, and enzymes. Number two, you stabilize your blood sugar, restricting your intake of sugar, replacing sugar calories with protein and with fat. And then number three, you deep breathe. Make sure you're practicing oxygenation techniques, all the ones we talk about here on this program, and move the body a little bit, and make sure you're relaxing. And that's pretty much it for every single health issue you can name. Of course, nutritional supplementation goes a long way towards making sure you're getting the basic building blocks, the basic raw materials you need to build a body. That's the Mighty 90 Essential Nutrients. You can find out all about it at brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com. Thanks for listening. We'll be back at you tomorrow with more good health information on the bright side. Have an awesome, spectacular, beautiful day. Bye for now.
Your house is under attack. Every day, our homes and families are attacked by harmful gases, mold, and pollutants caused by everyday activities. According to the EPA, indoor air can be 5 to 100 times worse than outdoor air. And the American Lung Association states that poor indoor air can cause infections and chronic lung diseases such as asthma. Protect your family with a complete indoor air quality package from Wave Home Solutions. Wave ventilation units for basements and crawl spaces reduce moisture that nourishes mold, odors, dust mites, and expels gases and pollutants. Add the Wave 6-stage air purifier to get rid of the viruses, chemicals, and pollutants upstairs for a complete indoor air quality solution. A healthy home is the best investment you can make. Visit wavehomesolutions.com. That's wavehomesolutions.com, or call 888-758-WAVE. That's 888-758-WAVE.
Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
My name is Don Wiskin. And at 42 years old, I suffered a massive heart attack and was told I'd be on disability for the rest of my life. What did I do? I created Extendivite, a garlic and cayenne mix of 7 herbs which rebuilt my heart and gave me back my life. For over 17 years now, I have made this formula available to you so you don't have to suffer the same thing I did. Clean your blocked arteries and strengthen your heart and boost your natural immune system. I'm 60 years old now and I still work every day. To get your Extendivite, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822, or visit heartdrop.com. Extendivite is only $69.95 for a 2-month supply of either capsules or liquid.
Extend your life with Extendivite.
You heard the discussions all over the radio. You couldn't believe what you were hearing. You trusted them. How could you have not seen the signs? You felt betrayed. Outrage set in. Your emotions began to consume you. Then, nothing. Now they're talking football. Days turn to weeks and months. Then, you've forgotten. But they haven't. They're still monitoring your every move. It's coming. Monitor blockitpocket.com. Or will you forget?
Your house is under attack. Every day, our homes and families are attacked by harmful gases, mold, and pollutants caused by everyday activities. According to the EPA, indoor air can be 5 to 100 times worse than outdoor air. And the American Lung Association states that poor indoor air can cause infections and chronic lung diseases such as asthma. Protect your family with a complete indoor air quality package from Wave Home Solutions. Wave ventilation units for basements and crawl spaces reduce moisture that nourishes mold, odors, dust mites, and expels gases and pollutants. pollutants. Add the Wave 6-stage air purifier to get rid of the viruses, chemicals, and pollutants upstairs for a complete indoor air quality solution. A healthy home is the best investment you can make. Visit wavehomesolutions.com. That's wavehomesolutions.com or call 888-758-WAVE. That's 888-758-WAVE.
Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states. Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937.
It's time to kick some ash because cigarettes have met their match. Smokers are switching to Vaporite e-liquid by LeSig because when you kick ash, you kick tar and smelly smoke too. LeSig smokes the competition with real people customer service, a 7-day satisfaction guarantee, and same-day fast free shipping. Become a vapor today at LeSig.com, spelled LECIG.com. LeSig e-cigarettes. Kick some ash.
Ben Fuchs is a registered pharmacist who has been using nutritional supplementation like medicines for decades, seeing tremendous health benefits. That's why he drinks Pollen Burst from Longevity's complete line of nutritional supplements.
Pollen Burst has got the B vitamins in there, and the B vitamins are so fascinating because most people are going to be deficient in the B vitamins because they're rapidly processed out of food. So if you're eating foods that are cooked, if you're eating foods that are frozen, if you're eating foods that are prepared in any way, you're going to be deficient in these B vitamins. And the B vitamins work on the parts of the body that move the fastest: the brain, the heart, the skin, and the digestive system. Those are the 4 systems that respond rapidly to the B vitamins.
To feel changes in your body's fast-moving systems, order Longevity's Pollen Burst by calling 877-551-1301. That's 877-551-1301 or on the web at InfoWarsTeam.com. That's InfoWarsTeam.com.
You heard the discussions all over the radio. You couldn't believe what you were hearing. You trusted them. How could you have not seen the signs? You felt betrayed. Outrage set in. Your emotions began to consume you. Then, nothing. Now they're talking football. Days turn to weeks and months. Then, you've forgotten. But they haven't. They're still monitoring your every move. It's coming. Monitor blockitpocket.com. Or will you forget?
So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective, multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
This is a healthcare alert from the Pain Relief Hotline. If you, a family member, or a loved one suffers from knee, back, shoulder, or ankle pain and have Medicare as your primary insurance, we've got great news. You don't have to suffer any longer. You can immediately qualify for a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you by calling our 24/7 Pain Relief Hotline at 866-389-0620. Delivery is free and all paperwork is handled for you. If you are on Medicare and have knee, back, shoulder, or ankle pain, don't wait. You can qualify to immediately receive a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost by calling our 24/7 Pain Hotline now at 866-389-0620. Our representatives are standing by 24/7 to take your call and rush you your pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you. Shipping is free and all paperwork is handled for you. Just call 866-389-0620. That's 866-389-0620. Again, 866-389-0620.
47-year-old female and had a heart attack in 2005. This is Alice from New Jersey. I still get angina, even with 4 stents. I was taking nitro 2 or 3 times a week. The very first day after taking Heart and Body Extract, the chest pain was gone. Now I don't wear a nitro patch.
Learn the secrets of an effective, natural, 100% organic nutritional supplement for a healthy heart and circulation at hbextract.com.
Attention, all men. Are you urinating more frequently? Do you wake up to urinate? Are you having a slower, weaker stream? Don't ignore the warning signs of your aging prostate. Get your free bottle of Super Beta Prostate. Super Beta Prostate is guaranteed to support a more complete emptying of your bladder, a fuller, stronger stream, and less waking at night to urinate.
Super Beta Prostate is a product that I really like. I endorse it. I use it myself. I was very pleasantly surprised that Super Beta Prostate helped me fairly quickly.
Super Beta Prostate is formulated with a natural plant enzyme called beta-cytosterol. It's so powerful, you'd have to take 100 saw palmetto pills to get the same sterols as just one Super Beta Prostate tablet. Don't ignore the warning signs of your aging prostate. Call now to get your free bottle of Super Beta Prostate. Call 1-800-853-1203. That's 1-800-853-1203. 800-853-1203.
There are hundreds of silver products on the market today, but there's nothing like the astonishing health benefits of the multi-patented One Silver Solution. Boost your immune system at a great price with our Silver Solution Liquid, starting at $12.95 a bottle. Now available in regular and extra strength. That's half the price of the leading competitors. Call 844-USILVER for your free catalog, or go to onesilversolution.com. Onesilversolution.com. There is only one Silver Solution.
Numana, the true pioneer of healthy storable foods and preparedness products, has gone and done it again. Numana is now the first food storage company in the country to offer organic powdered milk free of hormones. Our goal is to change the way you look at storable food. Numana is GMO-free, contains no high fructose corn syrup, aspartame, or artificial ingredients. Numana's great tasting and easy to fix meals are perfect for emergencies or a quick dinner for your family this weekend. We also offer the revolutionary Defender Pack, which combines organic superfoods with the GMO-free meals our customers rave about. Go to powerprepper.com or call 877-817-9829 today to learn more. That's 877-817-9829. Numana, food storage you'll love to eat. See our selection at powerprepper.com.